Alright everyone, so I'm sure most of us have heard about the 6 rumored creatures that will appear in Chaos Theory, and on that list we have Becklespinax. This is the most random one to be added to the Jurassic franchise. It's completely out of nowhere, to be honest, and the thing is, it's been renamed to Allosaurus, so I'm not sure why they're going with Becklespinax. People assume it's so that they can get the taxonomy of the Becklespinax incorrect, and fans will complain less because it doesn't exist really. But I feel fans are going to complain because it doesn't exist. It's like, okay, but as I was saying, it's really random. It doesn't have much information in previous Jurassic iterations, but there is a couple, so I'll go over that, everything we know about the Becklespinax in the Jurassic Park franchise so far, and then I'll go over where I think we're going to see Becklespinax in Chaos Theory, how I think it is going to appear. So stay with me. So the Becklespinax appeared only on the Jurassic Park Institute wiki. Now, if you're unsure what that is, the Jurassic Park Institute was an expansive Jurassic Park based website launched by Universal Studios that opened on June 12, 2001 and closed down in 2006. So we can still read about all the Becklespinax information on that website till this date, fortunately enough for us, and basically it just gives you facts on it. So its location, it's based in Europe, so I feel that there is a good hint, even though we don't know where it could be based, because let's say creatures like Velociraptor were found in Asia, but now they're in North America in the Jurassic franchise, right? However, I think that Europe is a good hint at where we will find it in the series, and I do think that will be Malta, because Malta is the closest to that Europe area. And Becklespinax, we have no idea how it was created, but let's assume it was created through fossils or even amber. That means those fossils were found in Europe. That means it's probably been shipped or created right near where anything is around Europe. And what's close to Europe? Malta is. So that is where I do think we'll see it. We know Malta is most likely coming back due to one of the rumored creatures being Atrociraptors, and we know in Dominion they only appeared in Malta. So that is so far 4 creatures we possibly know of that can appear in Malta from the rumored list, which is Allosaurus. We might see it get shipped from North America to Malta because we know it's in Malta because of Jurassic World Dominion. Then we might also see Suchomimus there, because we saw Suchomimus in a deleted concept in Malta for Dominion, although that eventually got changed to Allosaurus. So maybe we'll now see Allosaurus and Suchomimus together. And then of course we have the Atrociraptors, which they play their part in Malta and Dominion. Will it be a recreation of those scenes from Dominion? We'll have to wait and see, obviously. Or maybe there would just be a cleanup of Malta after the events of Dominion. Who even knows, really? But then, yeah, Becklespinax. I am quite excited for Becklespinax, even though we have no idea what it's really going to look like. We do obviously have images online of other Becklespinax iterations, and there was one on the Jurassic Park Institute, so it could be based off that. I feel it might be a bit more basic, but who knows? We could get lucky. But I'm excited for it because I owned a Spinosaurus figure that came out in the early 2000s, this dinosaur toy. It was my very first toy. I've mentioned it on the channel before, but because it was from the early 2000s, this was a Spinosaurus toy that didn't have the crocodilian snout, but instead the T-Rex snout. So I feel it's really rare to kind of find, iterations of Spinosaurus like that nowadays, whereas, nowadays we just have the Spinosaurus with the crocodilian mouth. Even still, it can be 2-legged, 4-legged, mostly 4-legged nowadays, but because of Jurassic Park 3 being so major, lots of people know that iconic theropod 2-legged Spinosaurus. But anyway, moving on, we'll read out more Becklespinax facts. So it is a carnivore. If that wasn't made obvious enough, I'm sure I've put photos of it throughout the video. Its name does mean Beckle's spined, so yep. And then length is 26 feet 8 meters, height is 9 feet 3 meters, weight is 1 ton 900 kilos, and it lived during the Cretaceous 128 million years ago. Now this is a large chunk of stuff to read about it, but here we go. Becklespinax was a large meat eater from England that has caused much confusion among scientists. It was discovered way back in 1884 and has had several names since then. Unfortunately, very little of this dinosaur has been found, which only helps makes things confusing. One thing that is known is that it had fairly tall spines on its back, which may have made it look like the North American dinosaur Acrocanthosaurus. I'm sure you've all heard of Acrocanthosaurus. It's quite a well-known theropod dinosaur. Anyway, however, it is not thought that they were actually related. An interesting story associated with this dinosaur, although it can't be proven, is that Sir Richard Owen had the tall neural spines of this dinosaur when he was providing direction to Waterhouse Hawkins on how to design his sculptures. The famous Crystal Palace dinosaur sculpture, which still stand today in London, include what is known as the humped-backed Megalosaurus. This humped feature may be a result of Owen's interpretation that these neural spines belong to Megalosaurus, as was believed in an early assignment of this specimen. So yeah, that is that from the Jurassic Park Institute. But what if I told you that wasn't the only information that we had on Becklespinax, because it really only appears on, the Jurassic Park Institute. But you guys are probably like, where else does it appear? Now this, for you guys to know this, would be like a really obscure fact, but you have to go through all of the Jurassic World Evolution 2 databases, pretty much. You know how they have super long descriptions? Like, for example, what do they have? They just have, the descriptions, they have the discovery, and they have the paleoecology. But in Metriacanthosaurus's descriptions, one of them, it does mention that it lived along Becklespinax. I'm just trying to find it right now. Yes, so this is about Metriacanthosaurus, by the way. This genus was first described in 1923 by German paleontologist Friedrich von Huene. Although the first fossils found parts of a backbone and leg bone were initially attributed to Megalosaurus. Further research throughout its 20th century led to it being reclassified as Allosaurus, and finally Metriacanthosaurus in 1964, when English paleontologist Alec Walker declared that the bones were that of a new genus. So Allosaurus is obviously what Becklespinax was renamed to, but yeah, that's about it of all the information on Becklespinax. Did you enjoy the video? Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. See you later. Bye everyone.